It's been a rough few months for anyone that's invested into Fantom FTM, and I want to go over something I think they could learn from the Polkadot ecosystem that if they would have implemented earlier could have saved them a lot of headaches. If you haven't been to this channel before, my name is EQ and welcome to Alchemy Meta. Now before we talk about what they could have done differently, let's talk about what got us to this point. Now the first catalyst that caused this downfall of Fantom was when Andre Cronje calls it quits and steps away from DeFi as a whole, leaving a bunch of projects like Yearn Finance, projects that weren't even completed, and just decided to take them off the market. This is obviously going to cause a lot of FUD in the market because he was one of the star developers and one of the main names and one of the honestly the main reasons why so many people were throwing money into Fantom. Which is ironic because less than a month later he comes out and starts slamming crypto culture and starts to call for regulation within the DeFi space, pulling a full 180 and continuing to shock the world. Now Fantom's chart was already on a downtrend like the rest of the crypto market, and it was around this time when this news about Andre was released, which caused this nice little dump. Now, as price starts to make its way back up, we can see that we hit a major critical resistance at the 200-day EMA. And once we hit this resistance, price starts to fall again. Now, within this falling action, something interesting starts to happen. There was a Fantom whale, which we can call a degenerate, who had a $30 million position that was locked up for 4 years. Now, once that price action started to fall, this position ended up getting liquidated. And once this position got liquidated, the price started to plummet even more, and the arbitrage bots started to go crazy, and price started to cascade even further. And as a result of this one trade liquidating, there was a wave of liquidations that followed, which since then we can see that Fantom has been recovering and started to find a nice little floor. But this news does continue to push price down, and as we can see from here, there's not too much volume entering the Fantom ecosystem, so I could see this potentially dropping even further than where we're at right now. So with all this in mind, what could Fantom have done differently that could have stopped all of these issues from happening? Well, they could have taken a note from Polkadot and learned from how their ecosystem is built. Now, when we go back to talking about Andre, he was the type of person that liked to release half-done projects so they can be tested in the real world, and then he can optimize and implement the changes based on what is happening. But then you run into a lot of issues when you're essentially running a testnet on your mainnet and allows for a lot of vulnerabilities within the contracts in the blockchain. Now what Polkadot did to solve this problem, because they want to test things in real world as well, is that they created Kusama. Now Kusama's sole existence is to be a testnet for Polkadot. Any project or any sort of smart contract or any solution that wants to be ran through the Polkadot parachains will first go through the Kusama parachains, so they can be tested with real world stress tests, which allows the developers to improve and optimize on these projects before they are scaled to the Polkadot ecosystem, so that problems are not introduced to the mainnet. So essentially you can compare Fantom to Kusama just because Fantom is testing a lot of these dApps and smart contracts and things like that through real world stress tests on a mainnet. So realistically, the two things that Fantom could do would be to either release a new ecosystem that would be the host of the mainnet for any projects that were successfully hosted on the Fantom ecosystem, or B, they can create a testnet that acts as a mainnet like Kusama and move some of these dApps down to this other network so that they can be tested and brought back into the Fantom ecosystem when they're actually completed and all the potential issues and vulnerabilities have been taken out. If you want to join the Alchemy trading group, hit this link above and take advantage of the 50% off special. Now that's no easy feat, and I think that's one of the things that's going to have to happen in order for Fantom to get back to where it was. There's a lot of FUD surrounding the ecosystem, so there's a lot that needs to be done to bring back confidence to the community. Now, if you do believe in Fantom long term, where price is right now is a fantastic dollar cost average opportunity. This is not financial advice. None of this is financial advice. Make sure to do your own diligence when trading. But if you do believe in Fantom long term and you think that this project can last in the next 10 to 15 or 20 years, you have a really nice discounted price compared to where price was the last year. And like I was saying before, there is some room for this to potentially pull it down a little bit further. So for DCing opportunities, you might get an even better shot. What do you think Fantom should do to bring back some confidence to the community? Let me know in the comments section. Hopefully you're having an amazing morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on wherever you're watching this in the world. This is going to wrap up the video on Fantom, and I'll catch you on the next one.